Father, in the name of Jesus, I really bless you and give you adoration. Our Father who dwells in heaven, out of love, you gave us your Son. And we adore your name and acknowledge your presence in our meeting. And we pray that you take charge of everything that will happen here. And we prepare our hearts for your word, so that your word will make maximum impact in our lives. In the name of Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
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 My year of obedience. Amen.
Amen.
Last week, we were blessed with the word of God, and the man of God spoke about obedience being the master key of fruitfulness. Amen.
Amen.
So today, I'm coming to build on that. So my word is entitled, Do It Now. Do It Now. And we'll be reading from John chapter 2. We'll take it from the verse 1 through to 8 or 9. John chapter 2, verse 1 through to 8, or maybe 9. Amen. Do it now. So that is the title of my message. Okay, so we go. On the third day, there was a wedding. Someone said there was a wedding.
There was a wedding.
Please take note of that word. We will come back.
Hallelujah.
Amen.
Amen.
There was a wedding. Wedding. That word. Wedding. There was a wedding in Cana of Galilee. The mother of Jesus was there. 2. Now, both Jesus and his disciples were invited to the wedding. See, the word has appeared again. Wedding. Okay, let's go. And when they ran out of wine, the mother of Jesus said to him, They have no wine. 4. Jesus said to her, Woman, what does your consent have to do with me? My hour has not come. His mother said to the servants, Whatever he says to you, do it. Now there were set there 6 water pots of stone, according to the manner of purification of the Jews, containing 20 or 30 gallons apiece. Jesus said to them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. 8. And he said to them, Draw some out now and take it to the master of the feast. And they took it. Let's end it with 9. When the master of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, and did not know where it came from, but the servants who had drawn the water knew, the master of the feast called the bridegroom. Okay, let's end it with 10. Okay, yes. It's getting interesting. And he said to them, Every man at the beginning sets out the good wine, and when the guests have well drunk, then the inferior. You have kept the good wine until now. Amen. Amen. Let's go to verse 1. Let's start it from there. So, I think this is one of the most popular stories in scriptures. And we normally say that this is the first miracle that our Lord Jesus Christ did. So, from verse 1, now let's take our time. On the third day, there was a wedding. As people are smiling, wedding. Say wedding. Wedding. Now, on the third day, there was a wedding. Now, if we go back to the Jewish custom, normally in weddings, they would have 7 days of feasting, eating and drinking for 7 days. So it means that marriage is not for small boys. If people will have to come, eat, drink, dance, on the third day, you've run out of wine. I can't. On the third day, not even half of the 7 days, you've run out of wine. From the laws of Moses, one of the things that Moses instituted, that I think is recorded in Deuteronomy chapter 24, verse 5. What Moses said was that if a man marries, that man should not be assigned any duty in the military. He should be given 1 complete year to give joy to the wife, enjoyment to the wife. And when I read, I asked myself, what kind of enjoyment that you need 1 solid year? It means that it's a distance. This time, not 1 year, but 1 week of feasting. And on the third day, we've run out of wine. So this was a clear sign that there was improper planning. Because if you are embarking on a 7-day journey, and on the 3rd day you've run out of fuel, then there's a problem. Verse 2 says that, and Jesus Christ and his disciples were also invited. So it means that they didn't just go there because they were going there to feast, but they were actually invited. Here you realize that verse 1, Jesus' mother, Mary, was invited. Verse 2 says that Jesus and his disciples were also invited. So there is that. It's so clear that Mary went on her own. Jesus and his disciples also went on their own. They met there. And now when the wine got finished, Jesus' mother went to Jesus and told him that these people have run out of wine. When Mary definitely knew that Jesus was not a Pito brewer. Jesus was not working with Casapreco, Coca-Cola company. But Mary went to Jesus and told him that these people have run out of wine. And what did Jesus say? He said, what does this concern have to do with me? We have all been invited for wedding to eat and drink. So if they run out of wine, why don't you go to the room and complain to me, but you are coming to me? Now, we need to take note of certain things here. Jesus was at the wedding feast before the wine got finished. And now, Mary comes to Jesus, complains to him. Jesus told her that my time has not come. And what has this got to do with me? NIV will say that when the wine was gone, I found it so interesting how New Living Translation put Jesus' statement. He says that, why do you bother me with this? It's not my water. Now, the issue here is that when Jesus told Mary that my time or my hour has not come, Mary didn't actually concentrate on what Jesus was saying. She went ahead and told the servant that, look, whatever this man tells you, do it. So, now the point is, what actually did Mary see in Jesus Christ that she would have to go ahead and tell the disciples, the servants, that whatever this man says, do it. At that moment, Mary did not consider Jesus as just a mere son. Because if we see this as the first miracle of Jesus Christ, then it gives us that impression that there was no track record for Mary to actually believe that Jesus Christ was going to do something supernatural. But she acknowledged Jesus. She submitted to Jesus' unction or anointing and told the servant that whatever this man should ask you, just do it. And let's go to 5. Okay, 6. Good. So here we see that there were 6 water pots, and that were the purification. Now, in the Old Testament, certain animals and certain acts were considered to be unclean. So, if I happen to touch anything that is declared unclean, and now I come to touch this microphone, the logic is that this microphone is defiled, it's also unclean. So whoever comes to touch the microphone too is unclean. There, in the law, if a woman is in her menses, she is considered as unclean. So anything that she touches is unclean. So if you also go and touch that thing, you are unclean. But glory be to God that now Jesus Christ came, and now we are all clean. Amen.
Amen.
So, almost every Jewish leader, or in almost every gathering in the Jewish era, you will have these water pots there. So, because you do not know what you have touched to be clean or unclean, to be on the safer side, you just go wash your hands, and that you are seen to be clean. So, these were the pots for the purification. And the Bible says that Jesus Christ told them, the servants, to fill them with water. And they filled it instantly. They did not delay. So this one were studying total obedience. These people totally obeyed. There were 6 water pots. They filled all. They didn't fill 5.5, or they didn't fill 4. And they didn't also wait for further delays. They did it as and when it was said to them. There are some few things that I want us to consider. That sometimes in life, we might run out of something. And one of the things that we normally run out in life is time. This year we are talking about obedience. But one thing that can kill us is time. But we should take note that Jesus Christ was there before the wine ran out. So in the time of your lack, or in the time when you feel like you've run out of something, don't forget that fact that Jesus Christ is already there. So if you are in fear and you think that now I have anatomy to study, I have physiology to study, I have pathology, all the logi family, I have physical diagnosis and all the diagnosis family, I have this, I have that, I have this. The point is, do it now. Do it now. Time is not on our side. These servants did what they were told to do at that point. They did not wait. Do it now.
The Lord might have spoken a lot of things to you. Normally on 31st night, we draw a lot of resolutions. I'll do this, I'll do that. At the end of every week, I should be able to do this. At the end of every month, I should be able to do this, do this. But the point is, we are procrastinating a lot. We have to do it now. These servants filled all the jars. They didn't leave any unfilled. Last week, I was in one meeting and Kerudi said something. When I was coming to church, I was laughing. See, he said there was one man who was going to be baptized by a pastor. And you see, when you are going to be baptized by immersion, you are wholly or fully or completely immersed in water. That not even a single fiber of your head will be shown up. So he said this man was immersed in water, and the pastor realized that this man's hand was up. His head and every part of his body was in the water. But his hand was up. He asked this man, why? And the man said, see, this hand has been doing something. But for that thing there, it cannot stop doing it. So for my whole body, it's for Christ, but my hand, that one they lie. Possibly that is what some of us are doing. We feel that, oh, for this thing, I'll do it. If it's about giving, I'll give. If it's about going for prayer meeting, I'll do it. If it's about this, I'll do it. But for me to forgive that brother, for me to forgive that sister there, forget. In that case, you are filling some of the jars, and you are leaving some unfilled. But the servant filled them completely. Is there any empty jar in your life that you are living for anger, bitterness, unforgiveness? Amen. So, one thing that we need to understand here is that if you have run out of money, understand that before you ran out, Jesus Christ was there. Because he was there at the wedding before the wine ran out. And wedding is so important. It's so important that Jesus Christ even compared, or he spoke about the second coming, and he coming to take us to our place where he's going to spend eternity with us. He spoke about that as a wedding feast. And John, the apostle, recorded it in, I think, Revelation 19, thereabout. So it means that marriage is so important. So on the 31st, that was carol service. Sister Nicholas said that because we are married. Why? Because God values. You don't hit and rebound. Love will hit and hit it well. You will hit and stick. You don't hit and now rebound. Come back and think twice. So take your time. Please take your time. So that you will not run out on the third day. And one thing that we should also know is that, when these servants were told to obey Christ, they did it wholeheartedly. There were no questions. There were no doubt. They just did it as they were told. And when Mary came to approach Jesus Christ, that kind of familiarity was not there, because
we all know that Jesus is Mary's son. So Mary could have come to him and talked to him anyhow. But he came to him and said that these people have run out of wine. And even she was not also offended with what Jesus Christ said, because it looks like Jesus' answer was a bit harsh. Mary knew that this man could do something, but as to what exactly Jesus was going to do, I don't think Mary had any idea about it. So one thing is that when we present our petitions to God, we should just let God handle it in his own way. Mary knew that at the end of the day, this man was going to fix the problem. But as to whether Jesus was going to send the disciples to go to town and get the wine, or he was going to command the wine from heaven to come, or as to how the wine was going to come, that was not her issue. She trusted Jesus. She believed because she knew this man was going to solve the problem. So she just told the servant, do whatever you are told. What is it that you have to do it now? That you are waiting till tomorrow? If it is something that can be done now, if it is something that can be done today, if it is something that can be done this year, this month, do it now. You don't need to wait. That was 1st January. He sent me a message, even though I didn't reply, but it's something I have been, reading over and over and over time. And I've seen it on Facebook. Make me cry. People of God, time is not on our side. You might think you are in 4th year, so you have time. You might think you are in 3rd year, you are in 2nd year, or also first year, so more time. People of God, time is not on our side. If we do not take care, we are going to run out of wine. And if we should read from Amos chapter 9, verse 13 and 14, you realize that wine was a symbol of blessing. Wine was a symbol of blessing. So, based on what, so Amos chapter, so let's go. Behold, the days are coming, says the Lord, when the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes, him who sows seed. The mountains shall drip with sweet wine, and all the hills shall flow with it. Last verse 14. I will bring back the captives of my people Israel. They shall build the waste cities and inhabit them. They shall plant vineyard and drink wine from them. They shall also make gardens and eat fruit from them. So, the summary of this whole 2 verses is that God was trying to say that a time is coming when I will bring my people Israel to a place of rest, and they are going to enjoy. And as part of the enjoyment, they are going to take in new wine. Now, back to John. When the wine, that is the water that was turned to wine, was sent to the MC, the master of ceremony, the Bible says that he said, Amen. The Bible says that the man said that almost every man during such gatherings would normally bring the inferior or the less expensive or the less delicious drinks. And later on, when people are fully drunk, he will come in with the expensive ones. I believe that is a defensive strategy. Because when you bring in the expensive ones, people will consume and consume and consume, but you bring in the cheap ones, when you are full, you come in with expensive one so that you won't actually spend much. So for Jesus to come in with that new wine, it was also symbolic that at last the Savior has come. Because the old things, what we used to drink, has already been consumed. But now, there is something new that has come. So we need to understand that Christ came with that newness of life. So if we call ourselves believers and we are yearning to obey Christ, then we should embrace that life of newness. We shouldn't see ourselves as that old wine. We are a new creation. And the Bible says that when these servants obeyed, Jesus performed a miracle. Anytime a miracle comes, it comes to actually demonstrate God's power. That is one of the purposes of miracles. And sometimes one of the things that miracles do is that they come to also renew or to refresh God's creation. So you realize that God created all things from the book of Genesis, but man fell. So when Jesus Christ came, God initially did not create anything like sickness or anything like infirmity. It was the fall of man that brought about all these things. So if Jesus Christ came and healed the sick, that was a way of restoring the foreign or the world that fell in the olden days. So what Jesus Christ came to actually do on that wedding is to assure us that he has come with newness. And his presence there should always be experienced in our lives. No matter what you're going through, never think that you have not, or Christ is not in it, or Christ has not seen. So we shouldn't just be doing things on our own because we want to get to where we want to get to. But we should understand that before the wine ran out, Christ was there. That is something that we shouldn't forget. So if it is peace that you have run out, don't forget that Christ is already there. If it is time, what we need to do it now. There are things God might be speaking to you about. You have to do it now. Because time is not on our side. Time is not on our side. As we are procrastinating, tomorrow has its own issues. So if we don't do it now, it means that it's going to push tomorrow's agenda to tomorrow next. Then, just like I thought. So you realize that you will live and die, but then you will not accomplish the task for which God sent you to this world because you have run out of time. So, there are times when people are dying on the sick bed and they will be crying. Sometimes not because of where they are going to, but because they know they have not accomplished their task on earth. So sometimes when you meet the old men and old women, they will be telling you stories. Indirectly, what they are trying to tell you is that they've expired. Now, they want you to carry on with what they were not able to accomplish. So, I've heard it. Amen. Yes, so in 2 seconds time, I want to summarize. Yes. So we need to understand that in every state of lack, Christ is already there. So we don't need to give up. And you also need to understand that wedding, marriage, is one-time affair. If you don't plan well, you will hit and bounce. People are smiling in the year of wedding. Amen.
Amen.
So, we also need to understand that whatever jar that we have in our lives, we need to fill it. Fill it with good things. The mind, the brain that we have, is capable of accepting anything. Whether good or bad information, it will accept. But we have that control over what we feed our brains with. Amen.
Amen.
Shall we pray?